has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. Good to have you with us on a Thursday from New York City. It's Carver High and Ferrall on Coast to Coast as we continue talking about the NBA as they get ready for their big All-Star weekend in the city by the bay. In the way.
Everybody pumped up for All-Star weekend in San Francisco. I mean, just the Rising Stars tomorrow night. Skills on Saturday, Team Chuck versus Team Kenny versus Team Shaq on Sunday night. Let's roll a few more teams in there. But we got to get through the rest of these regular season games before we do. Last night in OKC, you would think, Scotty, listen, we cut the Thunder a break. They were 43-9 going into last night. Unbelievable start to the year. Looking ahead, maybe. To the break, even though they do got to play tonight in Minnesota. So, they could take a night off, right? They were getting whacked by the Heat. That was until the fourth quarter started, where they went on a 21-0 run. They outscored them 32-8 in the fourth quarter. And, I mean, they almost covered the game. Wasn't it 14.5 or 15.5? Something like that.
We hit it with the spread, but it went down. So the Thunder covered when it closed, but we hit it here.
We had it early in the night. When we did it, it was 15.5, I think, right around that area. But here's the Thunder, 21-0 run, FanDuel Sportsnet OKC.
Caught in the air, trying to swing it over to Ware. SGA steps right into the passing lane. Kenrich tees it up. There's another one from downtown. The run continues.
Look out.
I mean, look. So I even heard that like the entire Heat team had Rhea, like they were all sick and everything, dealing with the little bit of Hanta in the clubhouse. So it is what it is. The Thunder always find a way, right? They always find a way to win. They're the deal. I still think, it's like I said before, screw them when I was talking about the Nuggets, because I want to see the Thunder play the Celtics. Because, I mean, somebody's got to prove to me they can beat Boston, because I've heard that they actually have the, AC/DC flick of a switch, that they can, flick the light on and play at another level whenever they want. They don't take games seriously at all, whether Missoula likes it or not. They turn it on when they want to. And when they want to, they destroy anyone they play. That's how good they are.
That is how good they are indeed. Cavs beat the Raptors. They smashed them 131-108. Pistons did beat the Bulls 2 nights in a row. Not as badly, though. Only by 18, 128-110. Bucks did beat the Timberwolves 103-101. Kings beat the Pelicans 119-111. They'll play again there in New Orleans tonight. We'll get to that momentarily. And the Rockets beat the Suns 119-111. Your boy, Amen Thompson, 18, 10 boards, 11 dimes, 2 steals, and 2 blocks he had in that game. He has really been stepping up this year.
He's turning into quite a baller. I'll give him that. And I love this team. They're another team with a Duca that I think is super dangerous in the West. And I like the Grizzlies as well. So for my money, it's those 3 teams. I know everyone has, the Lakers because they have Luka and Denver. And, I guess some outsiders think the Clippers are good enough. I don't. I think it's those 3 young teams. That's the ones I'm betting on.
The Rockets will have to wait for the summer to pull this off, but they are allegedly the favorites to land KD this summer if he leaves the Suns. And as you said yesterday, he's going to leave the Suns this offseason. He's not going to be in Phoenix anymore. Houston allegedly the favorite to land him.
And he likes Duca. He thinks that he's really a great coach because he is. I mean, the guy can flat out coach. I think he's there's guys that I really like. He's one of them, and Kenny Atkinson's another. And, I know that what Spo has done has been incredible, but he's tailing off, if you ask me. I think he's hit a wall, and I think these new guys are passing him. I think Udoka, and I got to give credit to J.J. Redick. I think he's done a great job with the Lakers, to be honest with you. But what this guy's doing, what they're doing in Detroit, they're over 500 at the break for the first time since 2009. Think about that for a second. And Cade Cunningham, what he's doing is crazy. But they're not as good as that Rocket team. That Rocket team means business.
They mean business indeed. Luka's Laker debut the other night, Monday night, ratings smash, despite the blowout and the fact that it was didn't tip till what, like 10:40 East, probably is when they started that game.
I watched.
2.5 million viewers, which is up 42% from the average NBA game that's on ESPN. So Luka at the Lakers, everybody was interested, even though it was a blowout.
They don't have anything that pulls 2.5 million viewers in per day or per game. They don't have anything with numbers that big. Luka Doncic with LeBron James brought that in, and nobody else had anything to do with it. No one. None of their highfalutin, egotistical, narcissistic hosts. They have nothing to do with this. Nothing. No one cares about the pregame show. No one. No one cares about the debate and talk shows. No one. They want to watch these two guys play together. That's why they watch. That's it. People watch games because they're going to be alleged good games or an event with a player that you want to see. Just like last night, people wanted to watch that Canadian team with Sidney Crosby on it. And then in come Mario Lemieux into the room, and it was off the hook. That's it, done deal. But I still don't believe people watched that hockey game last night. I really don't. I think everyone in Canada did. I agree with Morency.
Yeah.
You and I watched because we love hockey, Mafia, etc. Luke, all the rest. But nobody else gives a rat's ass about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that they were pretty good in the United States.
Their NHL ratings on ESPN and ABC are awful.
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet come out, but in the United States for last night. Now, tonight, USA's playing. I don't think it'll be that great either, but it'll be better than last night.
Listen,
with United States in the game.
They got okay, let's get real here for a second. As you know, you and I are television analysts. Yeah. So when TNT has Gretzky and the Bisser and King Henrik and all these guys on that set.
Yeah.
Here's a news flash for you. No one cares. No one watches that. No one. 10 people. Literally. I know those guys think they're all funny. Let me tell you something. Wayne Gretzky was a great player. He's awful on television. And so's Messier. They got Messier doing all the ESPN stuff. He's awful. That's just all there is to it. I don't even have to prove it. All you have to do is turn it on and you'll be like, gag me with a spoon. It's so bad. And no one watches. No one. No one. They lie through their teeth, the NHL, about how many people are watching. No one watches those shows. No one. Not even dogs in the room. The dog sleeping on the floor, he's not watching either.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Scheffler just took the lead, and I just spent 5 minutes telling you how much I hate him. I just looked up, and he made a 10-foot hook, and I was like, oh, no, he's winning. Once he takes the lead, it's over. I mean, it is over on the first day. Oh,
you never want to let him get out in front and ahead on Thursday and Friday because it's just there's just he's not going to crawl back to you. He's not going to come back to you. He just isn't. So he's now got the 3 under. He's got 4 birdies in the first 7 holes. He's mixed in a bogey. Davis Thompson looking to match him here, and he is short. See, that's why Davis Thompson loses all the time to Scotty Scheffler because he can't bury those. So 2 under for Thompson, a whole bunch of guys at 1 under, and then like more than half the field's in the red right now. In terms of over par. Just a miserable day out at the South Course and Torrey Pines. Everybody's getting involved.
I have one more.
I know. You love this stuff. This is the best when we get
Spieth
missing a putt. You see the putt that Spieth just missed? I mean, pushed it to the right. Just awful. Yeah. One more television note for you in the NBA before I finally get to tonight's games. Of course, NBC is back next year with NBA coverage, and they will have a fresh face in the broadcasting world for the NBA. Carmelo Anthony will be part of the NBC studio analyst. He'll be part of that crew. So Carmelo, who's done no TV, lots of podcasts, right? I see him doing podcasts all the time. So now he's ready to jump into TV work.
Yeah, I don't watch any of those things, and I don't. He's never done television, so he's just. I think it's obvious he's just mellow. So it pays to be mellow and to have played in New York. Let's just put it that way. They're giving him a big TV gig with NBC, and the league's going to be on NBC now, and he's going to be on there. Well, we'll see what he's made of. I mean, he obviously knows the game. But so does Brady. And Brady's awful. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's super, just magnificently uncomfortable as a broadcaster. I mean, I don't even have to like repeat myself, do I? I'm watching the Super Bowl. He didn't know what quarter it was, and he didn't know what down it was. I mean, he was a mess, and that's just all there is to it. I mean, there's some guy, they just, their problem is, I get it, their fascination with athletes. They just can't get past. They have to put them in all these big, broadcasting gigs. They just think they're all going to be broadcasters. And I think that there's a gigantic difference from being an athlete and being able to do an interview in front of a microphone or being a broadcaster and calling a game. They're two different cups of tea. Like, there's a reason why I went to Ernie Pyle School of Journalism, or that, we had Tyler Fulgham on. He went to Missouri. There's a reason why people go to Northwestern and to Syracuse Newhouse School of Broadcasting. There's a reason why people are broadcasters and people are talent in terms of broadcasting and doing TV and radio. And just because you play pro sports, it entitles you, I guess, to these gigs. And then usually, I think 7 out of 10 times they F them up. Like, I just don't think they're any good. I don't. Like, look, I think Ray Ferraro's a great guy. I love him. I'm friends with him. He was on the Thrashers when I called the games. But I got to tell you, like, he's so Canadian on those broadcasts. They just might as well put him on Hockey Night in Canada. Because, it's like I'm listening to a guy, he's so Canadian. And I don't have a problem with that. It's just that, to me, it just comes across, you know what I mean? It doesn't come across, Chris. I'm serious when I say this. I'd rather listen to Bob Wischusen, and I'd rather listen to Ian Eagle. They're great broadcasters, okay? He was a player, and then he's a player with all this Canadian jargon, and I don't mean it in a mean way, but they got him on every American broadcast known to man. He's doing every studio show, every game that matters. And he might as well be French. Like, honestly, listening to him, to me, it's just painful. And I'm right.
I think you could get him tonight, too, because ESPN's got that USA-Finland game.
It never ends with it. I mean, don't get me started. And listen, they hate us. That's fine. I'd rather you hate me than dislike me. Like, I give a flying F what anyone thinks of me in Canada. I really don't. Like, I love Canada. I go there more than anybody around here. I love Toronto. I loved Ottawa. I loved Edmonton. No one loves Edmonton. I loved it. I love Calgary. I love everything about it. I love Quebec. I love it. But they hate us? Go ahead. Give a rat's ass about your candy ass. Hate me? Go ahead. You hate Americans. You're so soft. No one gives an F what you think. And including the president of this country, he basically takes a leak on you every day. I mean, he just goes to the bathroom all over you. I mean, and he gets away with it too. Because your prime minister is a candy ass too. And you know it. You don't even like him. You guys don't like anybody except Tim Horton. Shake out. And I'm right about all of that too. How you like them apples?
There you go, Forrest. I was trying to see who they are giving us for this game. Oh, actually, you get Bob tonight. Wischusen's doing USA Finland.
Thank God.
With Ferraro. Bob.
He's better than what's his name? Old Baldy.
McDonough usually does it with Ferraro. So you get Bob
Bob Wischusen is so much more exciting than McDonough. It's not even funny.
Well,
I should be a television analyst. They should, like Siskel and Ebert. Like, you do the movies, I'll do the sports, and I'll just tell you who sucks and who's good. It's real simple. I haven't been wrong once. And how long have we been doing this? I mean, I'll eat it when I'm wrong. I'll eat it. I'll eat the hoagie sandwich when I'm wrong. I'm never wrong.
McDonough's doing USA Canada Saturday night.
Well, what an abortion that'll be. Ferraro. It's just he's boring. He's so boring. That's his problem. You're boring, bro.
slow play drumbeat grows louder and louder every week, to the point now that they're making overt references to it on the broadcast.
So there's plenty of other guys that have to get faster. Tom definitely is more deliberate in his conversations, always has been since he's been on tour. I just think about Joe Scavern, when those two started working together, how their conversations always seem to just keep on going and going.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
At some point, these 80s are going to learn we don't need to hire ex-NBA guys. I need guys with college experience who's gone out and recruited, who know how to develop talent. NBA guys with no college experience don't work in college basketball. I understand they run NBA-style offenses, but it doesn't mean they can run college programs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
But if it ends up being 1 versus 2, which seems likely because the Cavs had a 5.5-game lead over Boston, the Celtics 3 games clear of the New York Knicks.
They're not unstoppable, not running away with everything, but for them to blow a 5.5-game lead on the backstretch in the NBA, already being a quality team outside of disastrous injuries, I don't buy that at this time.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Patino himself, in a clip that we just played, said basically the stats are not backing up the team's wins.
St. John's is offensive glass. That's where a lot of opportunities for St. John's came from. St. John's does not shoot the basketball well. It might even be fair to say they shoot it poorly. They were 3 of 16 from deep last night. But it doesn't seem to matter to them.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Like, listen, am I wrong? Like, are you going to sit here and tell me that when you're listening to him going against and the organization and that doesn't drive you nuts? You just told me that you turn the volume off. And, like, I usually just turn the volume off. And I'm like, that's because you can't take it. And then and let's face facts. When Bob, and people will say in Canada, oh, it's no different with Bob with John McDonough. Yes, it is. Bob Wischusen calls a game objectively. He just uses passion and energy and calls the game. He doesn't. Listen, I guarantee you tonight, is he doing a game tonight? He'll not,
Bob's
but he's not, Saturday night, I guarantee you, I know Ray like the chicken parm like the back of my hand. I live with him every day for a year. So he will knob Canada like no other. I mean, it'd be like as if they were doing the game in a brothel. I mean, he's going to be on them like a hooker. So there's nothing worse than some broadcasters that are homers. There's nothing worse. I swear to God, no one ever said I suck calling games. I never rooted for anybody. I called the other team's goals more exciting than the Thrashers because the Thrashers never scored. Everyone in Atlanta knows it's true. Just call the game. Don't pick a side or favorite. How about these guys? We play it on the show all the time, pounding the tables when their team scores in the booth. We do it all the time on the show. We expose phony-ass, homerized, milquetoast broadcasters that call games when they're basically, S-ing off their team. I mean, just absolutely going deep throat. And you can quote me on that. And I guarantee you Saturday it's going to be on full display, full glory. Are you kidding me? Ray, he'll probably stop calling the game. He'll forget he's doing the game because he'll be cheering for Canada against the USA. Who are you kidding? You're going to some bar to listen to it? You'll probably be throwing beers. I'm not even wrong.
Bob will do a good job tonight. You see, the problem is I won't hear Bob tonight because I'll be doing the radio show, so I'll definitely have it muted tonight.
The stuff of legend, Carver and Lisi.
So I'll hear the third period, but I like Bob doing the game. He's great.
He's good at his job.
He's good at his job. I I don't need Ferraro. I could give or take Ferraro. I don't care. Ferraro, I don't need him out there.
Go ahead and tell him I said so. He ain't fooling me. He's as Canadian as maple syrup.
You know, everyone hated Pierre Maguire doing all the big games. I liked Pierre. I thought Pierre was good. I know people got tired of Pierre after a while.
I think Pierre's great.
I think Pierre's
awesome. He just told it like it
was. When he did the game. Exactly. All right, let's finish this NBA, and then I want to get into some of the hockey with you for tonight. Markelle Fultz is signing with Sacramento because they need some point guard help. God bless and good luck for that. The NBA, a big All-Star weekend. They are not going to be running back the Steph Curry, Sabrina Ionescu three-point showdown
Why would
again. Apparently they were going to.
But why would they?
Just
why would you do that if you were him? Like, I've already beat her once, but you want me to do it again and lose?
You want me to keep trying until I lose? Is that pretty much what you want me to keep going until she beats me? Now, you know wanted to do something.
That's what it seems like to me. I would have said no to, like, how many times am I going to go to the prom?
They wanted to do something with Clark this time, and Clark declined. She didn't want to do it.
She's so famous now. You know what she's become? She's become Swift.
She's a big time celebrity. Big time celebrity.
Here's me, like just so we're clear, okay? When they play that bull shack in July, whatever it is. I got no time for that.
Oh, the WNBA? Yeah.
Bro, she could score 80 a night. And here's me like this. Oh, God. Honestly, like, I'm done with it. Like, I'm the meanest guy in town, okay? No one cares. Like, old ladies care, okay? Go to Grandma's house and watch that. I'm busy over here.
Executive producers of The Last Dance are bringing Celtic City to the screen next month. I know you'll be ready to watch Celtic City. Well, there's gonna be a lot of good. There's gonna be a lot of
I'd
good
rather
Larry
watch
Bird
Caitlin Clark.
There'll be a lot of good Larry Bird
commercials
stuff in it.
on a loop for 24 hours a day.
5 games tonight. We will get you those numbers when we come back, including Golden State at Houston. The Clippers are in Utah. Miami's in Dallas tonight. So we'll give you all the numbers for tonight's games next.
Okay.
At some point, these 80s are to learn we don't need to hire ex-NBA guys. I need guys with college experience, who's gone out and recruited, who know how to develop talent. NBA guys with no college experience don't work in college basketball. I understand they run NBA-style offenses, but it doesn't mean they can run college programs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? You're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
only on SportsGrid.
All right, as we turn the corner here and head for home, the second half begins on C2C on a Thursday, and we got 5 in the bag tonight in the NBA.
Yep, this is it. Your last 5 regular season games until Wednesday of next week when the Lakers will play the Hornets in that makeup game. So really a full week till you get a full slate again. The Warriors are in Houston against the Rockets. So they lost in Dallas last night. Kerr bellyached after the game, I'm going to play my veterans. I think he's lying. He has no choice but to play. They're off for a week after tonight. He's got to play Curry. He's got to play Butler. I mean, they're 27 and 27. They don't exactly have a lot of leeway. Houston minus 1.5, 224.5 the total.
Listen, my daughter is tougher than the Warriors and these NBA players, the way they sit and don't play and need rest and the bellyache, cry, and the coach is just constantly complaining like an old lady. I mean, honestly, it's embarrassing. Just give me the Rockets. I hate the Warriors. Give me the Rockets at the Toyota tonight. Have fun with that young team. They're ready to go. They played last night. They don't give a rat's ass. You don't hear them crying. Let's go, H-Town.
I mean, everybody who's playing tonight played last night. So everybody's in the same boat, and the Warriors are the only ones who rumble. Now, the Kings will be in New Orleans against the Pelicans. Kings beat them last night. Same 2 teams, same spot. Only difference tonight is Zion played last night. He is not going to play tonight. It was 5.5 yesterday. It's 8.5 today. 235.5 the total.
I covered with the Kings last night. I feel like the play is the Pelicans tonight. I don't care who plays. I don't, all of this worrying about who's in the lineup and everything else is just nonsense. The Mavericks had no one playing last night. Kyrie played 1-on-5 and he won. So I don't want to hear it. Give me the Pelicans in the 8.5.
The Heat, after blowing that game in Oklahoma City last night, will be in Dallas against the Mavericks. Miami minus 1.5, 216.5 the total.
I feel like it has to change a little bit for the Mavericks. They can't just win every game when they have no one. I mean, literally, did you see that team they had on the floor last night? I was watching the game. I was like, You couldn't name one guy besides Kyrie Irving. I think the Heat beat them tonight in Dallas. It's got to catch up to you at some point. And they are a mess. And Miami, I mean, it is amazing to me that they're in first place in their division because they suck too. They got to go out and win this game. I mean, when are they going to ever win a game? I mean, tonight is when.
They're in first place, right? And they're not even under 500. Or they're tied with Orlando.
They're 2 games under 500, and they were in first place yesterday, but they lost, so they're not. What are they tied now?
Yeah, the divisions in the NBA now are kind of nonsense anyway.
They're ass.
The Thunder, they are. It's stupid. The Thunder are in Minnesota against the Timberwolves. OKC laying 8.5, 225.5 the total.
I mean, Minnesota got cooked last night. I just feel like, it's a national TV game on TNT. I think it's going to be, I think OKC wins, and I think the T-Wolves cover the 9. I think it's going to be a game. I think they have to make it a game at the Target, at home, on national television. And last night, the Thunder had to rally to win that game. We covered in that game with the 14 and a hook because they won by 14, but they rallied to do it. Tonight, they'll have more of a struggle with the T-Wolves, who lost last night right at home. At least tonight, they show up. The Bucks beat them last night. They'll show up tonight.
And finally, the Clippers are in Utah. So the Lakers were there last night. The Clippers are there tonight. minus 9.5. No Kawhi. He doesn't play on back-to-back nights. And 228.5 is the total.
Honestly, like, I almost fell over that he was playing last night. Like, I'm just like, this guy's cotton candy too. Like, he is just as soft as yogurt. Honestly, he's like gelato. I'm going to start calling him gelato because he's so soft. He never plays. He's like gelato, it's like cat poop, right? It's like soggy. I don't eat that stuff. I'm a man. I don't eat gelato. Okay. It's not happening ever. I used to live in Miami, and they always had people eating gelato. I eat ice cream, okay? I don't get into, like, cat poop and yogurt and such, things like this, soft ass. The only thing soft serve I eat is Mr. Softy. Those are great swirl cones. I got to tell you. Clippers cover. They're going to rake the Jazz tonight in Salt Lake Shakers by more than 10. Easy money. The Jazz won their one game last night, and I told you they would win and beat the Lakers outright at the Delta. Tonight they get whacked.
Yeah, I can't imagine the Jazz giving you a big performance 2 nights in a row.
No.
It just doesn't seem. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
They're 40.
They suck. Like, they're really bad. So
it's one good game every 2 weeks at best.
Yeah,
typically once a month. They play well once a month.
They let it all out last night for them. There you go. Your night in the NBA. 5 games before the All-Star break. Tomorrow, don't forget, I'll give you all the numbers for All-Star Weekend. You want the rookie extravaganza tomorrow night. We've got the slam dunk, the 3-point Saturday. Team Chuck versus Team Kenny on Sunday night. We'll give you all those numbers tomorrow going into the weekend. I am
going to a better basketball tournament on Sunday than that All-Star game. I'm going to the semifinals of the 4 best teams in the state playing high school basketball, and I mean to tell you, it'll be sold out and rocking. Somebody will probably get shot at the game. There'll be a shanking, a shooting. But I am going to see these 4 schools that hate each other's guts play basketball with my daughter. It is going to be serious. I mean, serious hoops. Not that bullshack NBA All-Star game. What a joke that is. What's the over-under in the All-Star game? 700? I mean, honestly, it's such a terrible game. It's embarrassing.
With the format this year, they play to 40. So first to 40 wins because they're doing
thank God it was so awful.
They broke the teams up. They split them into 3 teams. Whoever wins tomorrow night gets to be the 4th team on Sunday night. So there's a lot on the line.
We got a lot at stake tomorrow night is what you're telling me?
A lot at stake. You got the 3 rookie sophomore teams.
Oh, and there's a celebrity game with a bunch of celebrities that don't matter.
I can't believe it. Yeah, celebrity game as well.
Barry Bonds is playing in the celebrity basketball game, I heard.
Wow. How about that?
I will torch Barry Bonds playing basketball. I will torch him.
We gotta get you in one of these games. How do we get you in the NBA All-Star?
So I played in the charity Ballin' for Peace in Brooklyn, right? Like 2 years ago before I had open heart surgery. So I go to this event, and I'm the only white person within 10 miles of this gym. I go into the game. They put me in the game because the guy that runs the thing knows I can play. And he puts me in with him. At one point, he's like, bring Ferrall in. He can shoot. So they put me in the deep corner pocket. I hit just a dagger from 25 feet. And everyone freaked that the white boy, they were screaming white boy. And there was no white people there at all. And as soon as I made the 3, they took me out. And I never played one more minute the entire game. But everyone loved me because I had hit the corner pocket J. I'm not having Barry Bonds do anything on me in a charity basketball game. I will light him up like a bong.
Can't have it. Don't want Barry anywhere near it. All right.
I'm a bucket waiting to happen. Buckets.
4 Nations face-off. We'll give you all that when we come back.
Woo!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Did you see the Golden Muzzy last night giving Mitch Marner the business during the game when he was on the bench crying? And then I tweeted him, he just scored the game winner in overtime. And the Golden Muzzy giving the just absolute high heat to the Toronto Leaf, you know, because he's in Toronto. And they're very critical of the Leafs up there. Every player gets just butchered by the media. They just crucify these guys. Meanwhile, the guy scores the biggest goal of his life.
Yeah, I think that he's kind of the guy that they've taken like center hit on now in Toronto. Like,
yeah,
because I think is he a free agent after next year? I believe summer of 25. That's right. So I think he's after this season, or maybe one more season he's got. So he's going to be up for some money, and he hasn't really played great over the last year and a half. But he played pretty well last night in this Canada overtime win over Sweden. I thought he was noticeable on a few things. He was really noticeable on the game-winning goal in overtime on TNT.
Just for Brad William, Nylander rolled away. Now it's picked up by Crosby. He's looking to see if he's got some help. Morrissey went to the bench. Crosby delayed and sets up Marner. Full stride into the zone. Mitch Marner scores! Mitch Marner! An overtime winner for Team Canada!
I actually think Panger does a better job as an analyst, to be honest with you. I think he's really solid, but there you go. Marner with the winner. It was a great game. I mean, I don't know how many times we can say it in how many different ways.
Yes. He is a free agent this summer, by the way. After this season, Marner's an unrestricted free agent. Starting.
Yeah,
July
I'll take
1st,
him in Pittsburgh if they don't want him.
Hey, Dubas is there. He knows Marner from his Toronto days. So start rebuilding the Penguins with Double M. Mitch Marner getting involved.
That would be a great guy to do it with, to be honest with you. I believe in him. You know what the problem is that playing in Toronto is the pressure is so bad. It is so awful that who would want to be in that powder keg? I'd rather, play in Pittsburgh, to be honest with you.
He could play on Long Island, too, if he wants. He can come to the horse track
Why would he
play
want to
there.
do that?
Why would anybody want to pay that? Pay the taxes and the housing on Long Island? Why the hell would Marner want to be?
Who wants to deal with that traffic?
That traffic too.
And all
John
that horse
Cooper
cable everywhere. Everywhere you walk, there's horse cable.
A horse track. John Cooper said after the game, Sidney Crosby will go down as the greatest player ever for Canada. I had no idea about this stat until I saw it last night after the game. Canada has won 26 straight games across all competitions when Crosby is in the lineup, dating back to the 2010 Olympics. Now, this is a lot of Olympics and World Cups and other things. You heard Crosby yesterday. We played him, or 2 days ago. It's been a while since he's played for Canada, but they have now won 26 times when he's been on the ice. Ridiculous. Listen, that ends on Saturday, by the way.
Well, there's no. Yeah, I hope you're right, but there's no denying his brilliance. One of the things I thought that was cool was, did you see when Lemieux did the starting lineups in the Canadian locker room and he said Sid the Kid? They still call him that. Like the guy's an old man now, and they still call him Sid the Kid.
Has the respect of everybody there in Canada and all throughout the National Hockey League.
He's like Gretzky. No one touches him anymore. Like, he doesn't get hit.
Lemieux thing was awesome. We mentioned it earlier. Him coming out on the ice before the game. That was an electric atmosphere in Montreal. They love him there as well. Played his whole life in Pittsburgh. Beloved in Montreal.
What's crazy is that he still lives in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, still loves it there. The NHL and the NHLPA also confirmed that in 2028 they'll do the World Cup of hockey. So 3 years from now they'll do a World Cup. Next year Olympics. They'll take a break in 27, and then they'll do the World Cup in 28, which will have 8 teams as opposed to the 4 that they have for this 4 nations thing that they are doing right now.
I think he also lives in Florida, Mike, in the winter because he wants to get away from the brutal snow and cold in Pittsburgh. Like, who wouldn't? Because when I saw him, he was coming in from Florida. I think he has a pad down there and a pad in Pittsburgh. So, but he is, he's been true to Pittsburgh since he played there. He loved it, and it's just like Crosby says, he never wants to leave. Like, there's something about that city. I'm telling you, it's a special place.
Special place indeed. All right, USA tonight against Finland. We'll start this off by hearing from Panthers forward Matthew Tkachuk. Of course, he's coming off a Stanley Cup win. Looking forward to playing some high-intensity games for the United States of America. Here's Tkachuk.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about anything other than this, but I'm so excited to be here. And once I got here, like it just changes. The season's a long season, the regular season, and especially after the last few years with deep runs in the playoffs. And I just think coming here,
it's got to be brutal for you winning the Stanley Cup.
Finals. The same mindset, like the same stuff leading into it, and these games to me and my team, like this is as big as it gets for us. We're talking 4 Game 7s. So, we're really excited for this.
Listen, have you ever heard anyone that I've never met a player once in the league, and I know hundreds of them that doesn't want to play in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then I listened to this guy crying about, we've had to play all these extra games the last couple of years. All that matters is the Stanley Cup playoffs. They might as well just erase the regular season. It's a waste of time. If every day they could play playoff games, that's what they would do. And this is another example of it. This is a tournament that matters. It's the same next year in Italy when they play in the Olympics. It matters. When they play in the World Cup, it matters. When they play in the under-18 World Championships, it matters. It matters. These regular season NHL games are a waste of effing time. All they are is a moneymaker for the league. They're running a business. It's like it's no different than a flower store or a candy shop. Everybody needs to make money. They just open a door every day and try to make money. Just what the NHL does.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, I got to tell you, Carver High, again tonight, I got to grab that goal and a half at that price at plus 120. Hit it last night, hit the over last night, and USA Finland tonight. What are the numbers?
Yeah, once again, like minus 385 for the United States this evening. It's gone up from since this morning. Plus 300 for Finland. Now this totals 5.5 this evening. And the puck line, United States minus a goal and a half at minus 148. Finland with the goal and a half at plus 120. So a much better price than you got, obviously with Sweden last night with the goal and a half. Finland doesn't have scrubs here. I mean, they've got Rantanen and Barkov. They got some pretty good players on the Finnish team.
Again, and what's the total?
5.5. It was 6.5 last night, right?
Okay.
6.5 for the Canada
Give
game.
me the over and Finland plus a goal and a half again. I think USA by a goal.
And I'm gonna since we like the over, I'll play a couple goal scorers tonight. I'm gonna tell you now. I'm taking Gensel at plus 270. I'm taking Rantanen at plus 290. And I'm taking JT Miller at plus 360. 3 goal scorers tonight. Maybe if I hit one of them, I'll break about even. I'm going to take 3 goals.
Give me a Barkov and Aho. I need a 6-goal game. So give me a couple more Americans. Give me a couple of these guys. Everyone thinks it's Austin Matthews. Who else is on that roster?
Yeah, so you got Matthews, Hughes, Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel.
Give me Jack Hughes and Jack Eichel. Yeah. Those are my
both
6.
The Tkachuk brothers are playing on the team. So you have Brady and Matthew
Tkachuk.
Dylan Larkin. You got a bunch of guys. Brock Nelson from the Islanders is on the team. So you have a few going for you there. I'm just going to go I like Rantanen. Rantanen's a beast.
I like Rantanen, and he's a great player. I still can't believe they traded him. Honest to Christ.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd get rid of him. And
here's the difference between the NHL and the NBA. Yes. They trade Luka Doncic, the whole world stops. Like, it was the biggest story in the world. Like, it literally knocked world leaders off the air. Like, it didn't even matter. All that mattered was Luka Doncic. the best goal scorer basically in the NHL, Rantanen. I mean, he is like a sniper. And the guy gets traded. It didn't even, I mean, you'd be lucky if someone mentioned it on their sports report, like on the radio. I mean, you'd be lucky if someone even mentioned that it happened. Honestly, that's what the NHL, like, Rantanen gets traded and no one gave a damn. Luka Doncic got traded. People wanted to kill the general manager. He got death threats. How about the Colorado trades Rantanen? Their best, like, let's face facts. McKinnon and Rantanen were the best players, right? Are they not the best players? And then Makar. And they traded him, and no one cared. More people, trust me, they've won Stanley Cups out there, and the Broncos matter when they're in the off season more than the Avs matter when they're playing. And I'm right.
Look, it was the trade. NHL, we know this by now. We've talked about this forever. They don't get the same juice. Hellebuck will start for the United States. Saros from the Nashville Predators starts for Finland.
Goalies.
If you want to know about the goalies for tonight as well this evening. There you go. Four Nations, hopefully another great game tonight like we had last night to talk about. Some NFL stuff for you. We'll start it and then we'll finish it at the top of the hour. The Jets, I know we've talked about this a lot. The Jets did make this official. It's very rare you see a team put out a press release saying, we're getting rid of this guy. Just so everybody knows, we don't want this guy. We're getting him out of here. That's what the Jets did. Big letter from Woody Johnson.
How many times have they broke this story in the last week that he's not coming back? Is this the second day we've had to go through it? I am so sick and tired of this dude. You know what I want him to do? I want him to go on those. Remember I say the story probably for all finish, the sex mushrooms. I want him to go on the aphrodisiac sex mushrooms and become a horny old goat. I don't care about Aaron Rodgers' career's over. His career's over. Now what? He's going to go play for the Raiders, and I got to listen to the whatever. Shut up.
$49 million dead cap hit for the Jets with him. $49
million. Who? I don't care about their financial problems. Whatever.
Patino himself in a clip that we just played said basically the stats are not backing up the team's wins.
St. John's offensive glass. That's where a lot of opportunities for St. John's came from. St. John's does not shoot the basketball well. It might even be fair to say they shoot it poorly. They were 3 of 16 from deep last night. But it doesn't seem to matter to them.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? You're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
only on SportsGrid.